There's a certain look powerful people give you when they've already decided what you are. It's not hatred, not even disrespect. It's worse than that. It's certainty. The kind that says you've already been measured and found lacking. That's the look she gave me the first time we met. My name is Elias Rook. Human. Former reconnaissance specialist. Current diplomatic attachment, though that title was mostly for appearances. In reality, I was there because someone thought humans needed representation in a place where no one took them seriously. They weren't wrong. Remember, Ambassador Selvek said quietly as we entered the Grand Hall, "You are not here to impress them." "Good," I muttered. "That would be difficult. You are here to observe." "I'm very good at that." "Then do only that." I didn't answer, because I already knew how this was going to go. The hall was enormous, not just in size, but in presence. A structure built to remind everyone inside it who held power. At the far end, she sat, the queen. I had read about her species. Efficient, disciplined, dominant. They valued strength above all else. Physical, mental, strategic. Weakness wasn't tolerated. It wasn't even acknowledged, which meant we were already at a disadvantage. "Humans," one of the nearby delegates muttered as we passed. "Fragile. Short-lived. Emotionally unstable." I pretended not to hear, not because it didn't bother me, but because reacting would only prove their point. We stopped at the designated distance. The Queen's gaze shifted, settled on me, and there it was. That look, measured, calculated, dismissive. "You bring a human," she said. Her voice was calm, too calm. "They insisted on representation," Ambassador Selvek replied. "They are not known for strength." "No," Selvek admitted. "They are not." That stung more than I expected. The Queen's gaze lingered on me a moment longer, then moved on. Just like that. I was dismissed. And honestly, that was fine. Because I wasn't there to prove anything. At least, that's what I told myself. The incident happened 3 days later. It wasn't planned. It wasn't political. It was chaos. The kind that doesn't wait for permission. Alarms rang through the complex. Sharp. Urgent. "Security breach," someone shouted. Containment failure in the lower sectors. People moved instantly. Organized. Efficient. Their system worked. Until it didn't. "Something's wrong," I said, watching the feed. "What do you mean?" Selvek asked. "They're reacting too slowly. That is not possible." I pointed at the display. "Look." A creature, large, fast, and clearly not meant to be free, was tearing through a corridor. Security units engaged. And failed. "They're holding back," I said. "Why would they do that?" "Because they're trying to control it," I replied. "And it's not working." "Stay here," Selvek ordered. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I was already moving. "Elias," he shouted. Too late. The lower sectors were a mess. Smoke. Damaged systems. The sound of something heavy moving through reinforced structures like they were paper. And in the center of it, her soldiers. Holding formation. Maintaining distance. Waiting. "Why aren't they finishing it?" I muttered. "Because they couldn't." That's when I realized. They weren't weak. They were restricted. Rules. Protocols. Limits. And that creature? It didn't care about any of that. One of the soldiers went down. Hard. The formation broke. And suddenly, everything shifted. "All right," I said quietly. This just became my problem. I moved in. Fast. Not reckless. Just faster than they expected. "Human stop," one of them shouted. Didn't listen. Couldn't. The creature turned toward me. Massive. Powerful. And focused. Good. That's what I needed. Come on, I said under my breath. It charged. I didn't meet it head on. That would have been stupid. Instead, I moved. Angles. Timing. Everything I had learned in places where survival depended on not being stronger, but being smarter. It struck. I dodged. Redirected. Used its momentum. The soldiers watched. Confused. Because I wasn't fighting the way they did. I wasn't trying to overpower it. I was trying to outmaneuver it. And slowly, it worked. The creature slowed. Its movements became less precise, less controlled. And that was the opening. I took it. One precise move. One calculated risk. And the creature hit the ground. Hard. It didn't get back up. Silence followed. Heavy. The soldiers stood there, staring. Not at the creature. At me. What did you do? One of them asked. I exhaled slowly. I didn't try to be stronger than it, I said. I just made it fight itself. Later, I stood in the same hall as before. Only this time, everything felt different. Because now, she was looking at me again. But not the same way. The certainty was gone. Replaced by something else. Curiosity. You intervened, the Queen said. Yes. Without authorization. Yes. You risked your life. Yes. A pause. Why? I met her gaze. Because someone needed to. That is not sufficient reasoning. It is for me. Silence. You are not strong, she said. I almost smiled. I never said I was. Then how did you defeat it? Same way I deal with anything stronger than me? I replied. And that is, I don't fight it on its terms. That answer stayed in the air. Because it wasn't just about the fight. It was about everything. You adapted, she said. Yes. You changed your approach. Yes. You survived. I nodded. And you succeeded, she added. That one mattered. Because it wasn't something she said lightly. No one has done that before, she continued. Someone had to be first. A long silence followed. Then, you will remain, she said. Is that a request? No. Figures. Life changed after that. Not dramatically, but noticeably. The way people looked at me, the way they spoke. Less dismissive, more the where. And the Queen, she watched. Always watching. You rely on unpredictability, she said one day. I rely on not being where the problem expects me to be. That is inefficient. It works. She didn't argue, because she had seen it. You proved something, she said later. I didn't try to. That is why it matters. I frowned. How so? You did not act to demonstrate strength. No. You acted to survive. Yes. And yet, you succeeded where others failed. That happens sometimes. She studied me. Perhaps, she said slowly, we misunderstood your kind. Wouldn't be the first time. Months later, the hall was filled again. But this time, when I walked in, no one whispered weak. No one dismissed me. And when the Queen looked at me, there was no certainty, only respect. You have shown us something new, she said. I just did what I had to. Exactly. And that was the difference. Because strength isn't always about power. Sometimes it's about knowing how to survive when you don't have it. And sometimes that's enough to change everything.